and I know we're probably close to the end, but I'll share a story that my dad. So when I was like 14 or 15, I told my dad I was done with school, and I maybe I was a little older because I think I was in high school. But I told my dad, "Hey, I'm done with school. I don't want to go to school no more." And he's like, "Really? You don't want to go to school?" I was like, "No." It's like, "Why not?" And I remember just saying like, "It's dumb, like stupid." And he's like, "Okay." And we left. Like the conversation we had, we left, and I was like, "Cool." He says I don't have to go to school, and I remember thinking, "Damn, that was easy." And I went to school the next day. Just part of the routine, I guess. I went to school the next day. That day after school, he shows up to the front of school in his van. He honks. I see him. And I just thought we were going to go do work, something. So he picks me up, and I'm like, "What's up?" And I immediately thought like we're going to somewhere to load up the van with merchandise, and we were going to take it to the store because that's something we probably would have done. But he never would pick me up from the school. He'd wait for me to get to the store or home or whatever and tell me to go to the store. So he picks me up, and we're in Rupert at the time. I was at Minico at my high school. Picks me up. We drive to Jerome, Idaho, which is like 35, 40 minutes from the school. And we get to this house, and I know the house because it was one of my dad's friend that ran a dairy farm. My dad honks, and I look over, and Mr. Para, who ran the dairy farm, opens up the door. He waves. My dad's all, "Get off," and I'm like, "Okay." And I'm thinking like I'm gonna go get some boxes of something. So I get off, close the door. My dad takes off, and I was like, I remember seeing like, what the hell? And I walk up to him, and I'm like waiting for him. Like, I don't even remember what I was thinking, but I was like, my dad's going to be coming back, so I'm going to get some boxes or something. My dad's like, and Mr. Pata was like, "So your dad says you don't want to go to school no more?" Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with school. He's like, "Cool, we're going to put you to work." And I was like, "All right." And, being that young, dumb kid, I'm like, he's like, "I'm going to put you to work at the dairy farm." I'm like, "All right." And I'm thinking like, oh, these guys make some pretty decent money. I remember that. And so he's like, "Hey, this is your room. That's where you're going to sleep at and stuff." He gave me the schedule and stuff. You're getting at 5 a.m. You'll be running this shift and stuff. And so like the first couple of days I remember going, and it was work, like, putting on the machines on the dairy, getting all the cows out of the I don't know what it's called, but where they have them all. And I remember like, oh, man, this sucked. And I remember being there for almost 3 weeks, because I remember asking Mr. Spot, I said, "Hey, like, when do we get paid?" And he was like, "Oh, we got paid last Friday, every 2 weeks." I'm like, "All right." And I'm like, "So when do I get my check?" He's like, You already used it." He's like, "You paid for your rent? You've been eating, right?" He's like, "You've had everything you needed?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, You paid for it." Shoot, man. And I remember just instantly being like, this freaking sucks. And that night I called my dad and said, "Hey, I want to go back to school." He's like, "Cool, I'll go pick you up." Picked me up. And like, that was for me a time where I was like, man, my dad gave me a rough lesson. I'm sure my mom was like, "You're not sending him off," but I'm so grateful for that, that my dad did that for me, man.